Yeah, I broke up with her like 3 weeks after the ayahuasca. After 6 years with her, uh, which was, yeah, it was awful. Um, but I knew that was what I had to do. Um, yeah, and after that I was devastated, heartbroken. In the months after this, then like I've always been drinking vodka since I was 20. Now I quit drinking vodka and go through like a trial period uh, of trying to drink anything else that would make me feel better, or so. I don't like beer, it makes me tired, so I can't drink that. Wine is typically not my thing. Like I like the feeling I get from the strong stuff, like whiskey, tequila, rum, vodka. Like, I don't know, it boosts you up a bit. That's the feeling that I loved um, to get, and I can't get that from wine or beer or anything. So I tried tequila, rum, whiskey, Jägermeister, gin, but none of it makes any difference, really. And then I have this dinner with Charlie and Sander in Rotterdam. I'm sitting there, and for some reason I decided not to drink that evening, which was a rare occasion. Like I didn't care if they drank, but I always drank. Because I couldn't stand being sober. Like I was so incredibly uncomfortable, couldn't relax, and I was feeling like shit. Like the whole, yeah, that dinner was unbearable to me. Like I hated every single second of it because we weren't drinking, and that's when I started to think back to who I was as a child. Like when I was 8 or 9 years old, I was like dating the hottest girl in the class. I was like I was fearless. You know.
Confident, crushing sports.
Yeah, yeah. When I was 8 or 9 years old, like I was so brave, like fearless. Yeah, like I won like a dance competition in school. Like I didn't tell you about that, but I did. Like, and then I was thinking like, when the fuck did you dance last? Like now, like maybe when I was drunk sometime. Like, yeah. You called up your girlfriend at the time, like so-called girlfriend, like her parents. Like, hey, do you want to play? You went over there and you watched Lion King and stuff. Perfect date. Like, when the fuck did you call a girl last? Now, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I was text. Yeah. That kid, where you were when you were 8, 9, had bigger balls than you do, in some ways. Maybe you should change that. Yeah. So I'm sitting there during this dinner. I'm thinking about this, and I realize what a slave I am to alcohol and how bad it's making me feel. Like I can't even enjoy this moment with friends that are like family to me, that I would die for them.
Yeah.
But I can't enjoy this moment. And it's like, what happened? Alcohol happened. You started when you were 18. And then, step by step, it got a little bit worse. After years of severe alcohol abuse. And now you're here. And it's a fucking miracle you're alive too. Like, you've been so close to the edge so many times. Like, yeah. That's when I knew, like, I have to quit. And because of how bad it makes me feel when I don't have it, that's because I can't ever have it. Do you see that? Like if I drank once and then I was sober for a month, then I wouldn't be able to enjoy any sober moment without it. Yeah. So there would never be, life would always be great until I had it again.
Yeah,
And
unless it
that's-
was gone forever.
Yeah, unless it was gone forever. So that's when I realized, yeah, I need to quit this forever. And it wasn't long after that I signed up for my third ayahuasca with Pat in Holland. Yeah, it was on November 6th, 2020. And yeah, I figured, well, if this is gonna be my last time drinking, then I might as well go on to guns blazing. So I get some cocaine, and yeah, it's just me drinking alone, which was pretty much the case. It was a pretty sad ending,
Yeah,
you know.
poetic, kind of poetic a little bit too, because you were saying that you were drinking alone before that
Yeah.
too, so it was kind of like
Yeah.
if it was a really fun last time.
Then I might, oh, you see, wait a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, it was just, Charlie was home, he was smoking weed, but yeah, I was drinking, I think Jägermeister and did coke. So we were complete opposites. Like I found energy, wanted to talk, and he just wanted to watch a movie. Yeah, that was the 30th of October, 2020. Yeah, then I signed up for my third ayahuasca. Well, my third ayahuasca is on Friday. Now I'm planning to do a 2-day ceremony there with Pat. And usually before, the first time I did a day ceremony. So we started around noon, we finished around 6, but then you had to travel home after that,
okay.
which was really awful. Like, because you're exhausted, you're a bit lost. It takes a few days to come back fully. So my second time we did an evening, so you start around like 6 p.m. and then till midnight, and then you sleep there, you get some food also. So it's more relaxing type of thing, you don't need to worry about it. But now I'm doing a weekend ceremony, so I'll go there on Friday around, yeah, I guess 3 p.m. and I'm leaving around noon on Sunday, so the whole weekend. Yeah, the only thing, I only had 2 things for my last ceremony there.
That you wanted to work on?
Yeah,
Okay.
my sort of incentives,
Intentions.
intentions.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I want to quit drinking alcohol forever, and I want to become the person that I was before, like when I was 8, 9 years old.
Mm.
I want to bring him back.
Mm.
Like I've lost him somewhere. I haven't been that person in a long time.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all I had. And I show up to this meet her. Now it's the 3rd time, and she is like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Fucking amazing." But then like, "Why are you here?" It's like showing up for rehab. I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing great."
Never been better, dude.
Yeah.
I'm amazing.
Yes. And she was like, okay. Yeah, and we sort of all line up to take it, and I take the glass and I look at her, it's like, this would be the best one. Because I came there so incredibly clear with my intentions now, like there was no way that I wasn't going to succeed with this. The fear I had of stepping into the unknown during my second time and quitting drinking, like I didn't know who I was going to be. Now that had turned to excitement. I couldn't wait to get rid of it and step into this new person again, or becoming me, who I really was, or whatever you can call it. Like the person I was when I was a child. Yes, I just look at her, it's like, this would be the best one. And I take it and I lay down, and yeah, 20 to 30 minutes later, I'm communicating with Ayahuasca, and I'm like, okay, let's get started. I want to do this thing and this thing. It's like, just relax. We have 2 days, just breathe. and then eventually it's like, just relax, take it easy. And then I started feeling it in my stomach, and yeah, I went to the bathroom, and it was sort of like we continued where we were the second time, where I'm puking this out. It tastes like alcohol.
Mm.
That's also what I forgot to mention during the second time, was that I was puking, shitting, and pissing at the same time. Yeah, and I did the same thing now. It was coming out on all ends.
Yeah.
My whole body was going, oh. Yes, that was me. Yeah. And she says, make sure you get every last drop of you out. Like I was vomiting, and then until like you don't have anything left in you.
Yeah, you're just retching nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, she said it's time to say goodbye. Like it's time to leave this behind once and for all, and just end this. Stop being stop putting yourself in so much pain.
Yeah.
I was looking down on, like I was hunching over the toilet, and when she said that, like you have to say goodbye, then up from the toilet rose me, the person I've been for 15 years, who's an alcoholic, who's been abusing this. He came up from the toilet, and I looked at him in his eyes. I took his hand, and I thanked him for all the good times we've had. It was one hell of a ride. And yeah, she was very clear that you have to say it. You have to verbalize it out loud.
Okay.
So I let go of his hand, and I said goodbye. And then I turned the handle, and I just watched him disappear down the drain, and also this, what looked like black goo in the toilet. It was really weird as I was puking this and all combined, as I was hallucinating a lot, obviously. But all of this just sucked down the drain, and after that, he was getting washed clean by all the water. Yeah, then I stumbled back, and I felt really empty inside, like
Good or bad empty? Or just neutral?
I felt bad, but also like a relief.
Okay.
Like I was carrying this 20-kilo bag for as long as I can remember, and then now it was gone. I felt lighter, but I didn't feel good. Like I just felt empty.
Okay.
Still. And I stumbled back, and she asked, "How does it feel?" No, yeah, I don't drink alcohol anymore. It's like, yeah, give yourself a big pat on the back. You did it. Say it again. I don't drink alcohol anymore. And then I started thinking of my dad. Like he's never gonna believe it. He's never ever gonna believe it. Yeah, I get out of the bathroom, and I can't wait to tell Pat. This is the third time I'm there. I've struggled. I've been there 2 times before and I've failed. She knows that I've struggled with it. Like she doesn't know anything about my real struggles with it, my stories yet, but she knows that I've been in a lot of pain. I've been trying to do it before, but I've never succeeded. But now I come out, And I just go over to her and like, Pat, I did it. I'm free. I'm finally free. And it was such a beautiful moment to share that with her, because she knows how much I've been struggling with it. And it felt like I'd escaped prison. Now parts of my brain, I could activate them, I could feel that they're there. Like I could be happy or enjoy things without alcohol. I could feel it. Like before then, I would feel like empty and anxious and unhappy, and then one sip of alcohol would make me feel excited, happy, positive, and creative, almost all at the same time. Like boom, it activated my brain. Whereas now I can feel that those parts of my brain, they're there, and they're like getting stimulated in ways. Yeah, it felt like I escaped prison. And I was finally free, and I could enjoy life again. Without being stuck in that dark place where everything is meaningless, there's no point of anything. And unless you drink, then you feel good for 4 hours. Yeah, then she said, like, I'm so proud of you, what you've done. And then I lay down and I started thinking about, like, just imagine everything you could do now. Like now, nothing can stop you. Like before, I would drink on a Saturday, and then, as I explained, I'm gonna be done until Thursday evening. But that was my life for years. Now, I would have 7 days where I would feel good all the time. It would basically be like a car. Whereas before, the car would break down on Sundays, not be able to go anywhere. Monday, it might be able to go on like the first gear a little bit. And then on Tuesday, it goes a little bit faster, but not too fast. And that would basically be its speed until Thursday evening. And then on Friday, you could go full speed for like 1 day. But now, there's no stopping it. You can go full speed all the time, and there's not a fucking thing that can stop you. Yeah. And then it's like, just imagine what you could do now. And then I started thinking about things that I want to accomplish. Like, yeah, the first one. Let's get in the best shape of our lives. Like, I've been exercising for 10 years up until this point, going to the gym, but never got in good shape. Always been a little bit fat and stuff. So that was the first. Like, let's get in the best shape of our lives. It only took 4 months.
And you like you told me like multiple times privately that it was easy.
Yeah. Easiest thing I did.
Yeah.
Like, my diet didn't change. I didn't exercise harder. Really.
Right.
Or, yeah, I exercised probably 5 to 6 times a week after this, but I was feeling amazing, so I could do it, and I had something to work towards.
Yeah.
And as he's saying in the happiness hypothesis, where you have the rider and the elephant, basically inside of you have these two, I don't know, entities or personalities or whatever you can call it. Like, for me, I would set these goals, like, okay, let's get in shape, for example.
Yeah.
And then I work towards that goal, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Friday comes along, and I'm bored, and all of a sudden, I get this urge to drink, and there's not a fucking thing I can do to stop it. So that would be the elephant, like, taking the reins, like, I don't care what the fuck you do, but I'm going to the bar.
Yeah.
And then I sort of just have to tag along, and I can't do anything to stop it, because it's much stronger. Now, after this, then it feels like we aligned. We're going to the same place, and we can ride faster than ever. And that has never been the case before. It was always, oh, I want to drink, but I also want to achieve my goals. It was always split until this point. Yeah, so let's get in the best shape of our lives.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, let's do that. Let's get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, fuck yeah, let's do that. Let's make $1 million and give it all away. Like, fuck yeah, let's do that. And just start fueling this fire that I haven't felt in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Just like, that would be amazing to do that.
Mm.
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get excited.
Mm.
Really, really excited. Like laying there about all the things I could achieve and do and people I can help. And that sort of ends my first ceremony there. And during the next one, when I wake up the next morning, I still feel really empty inside. Like I don't feel good. After the other ayahuascas, I felt amazing. Like really amazing after each ceremony. And I still felt empty. And I'm just like, if I go back and I feel like this, then it's not too good. Like, yeah. Day passed and we start drinking or start the next ceremony later, and I don't really know what to expect because I've already quit drinking alcohol forever. Like, what more can I ask for, to be honest? Yeah, we drink this and I don't puke at all. Nothing comes out and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm done. I mean, I don't have any more to get out of me, type of thing. But Pat also told me it's like, next time, puke with the group, like because I've gone to the restroom and done it by myself. But she wanted me to do it with the group because it's like a bonding thing, you do it together. Yeah, I didn't really understand, but I was like, okay, if you want me to, then I'll do that. And then we drink the second one, and now I feel it's coming. Like I have a lot to puke, so I grab the bucket next to me and yeah, I let it all out. And now it feels like all the depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, the ungratefulness to life that I've had over the last couple of years, all of that came out in this moment. And in came this overwhelming feeling of love, of gratitude, like that every day is a gift and that you should make the most of it. That you should go after the things that will make you proud, not necessarily what will make you money. And as I was getting filled up with this, I was looking over the room and there was this woman there, this beautiful girl. She was a nurse and she was there just to help out over the weekend. And at the moment she was just dancing around the fire a little bit, looking a little bit silly or goofy in her own little world, but she didn't care. And then she goes over and helps one of the guys, and they're laughing together and like having a good time. I'm just like, that's it. Like, laugh, be silly, be goofy, don't worry about what other people think of you, help others, have as much sex as you can, like make the most of life. And that's sort of, yeah, it became my meaning of life right there. Like if I wanted to find meaning of life, like that's it. I found it. And that feeling, like that good feeling of love, of gratitude, it's been 1 year now and it's stuck with me ever since. I still have bad days when I'm bored or I feel like shit or something, but it's still there, this appreciation for life. And yeah, when I woke up the next morning, I felt like I was me again when I was 8, 9 years old. Yeah, I brought him back. Because I remember the feeling that I used to have, the confidence, the fearlessness, courage in some ways, like just how good and optimistic I used to feel. I remember that. And I woke up the next day and I felt the same way. Yeah, and since then it feels like I'm seeing the world for the first time. It's really weird because I've been I've been to Bali, Thailand, Costa Rica, and all of these amazing.
Mexico.
Yeah, but not yet at the
Okay.
time.
Alright.
But when I've been there, I haven't seen it.
Mm.
I've always been focusing on drinking or getting alcohol or girls or something else. Like I've never seen the beauty of the nature or the beach or the water. Yeah, and now after that ayahuasca, it feels like I'm seeing the world for the first time. And when I came to Mexico, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. Like I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. Now, when I came back from the ayahuasca, my friends Sander and Charlie, they instantly noticed, like, you look 10 years younger, you look 20 kilos lighter, they said. And when we were in Mexico, we traveled there in January, like, all of a sudden I have access to this full range of my personality. Like Charlie said, it's like, you never used to tell jokes unless you were drinking. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have access to that personality if I wasn't. Which is really creepy. Like, I get locked out of my own brain somehow. It's terrifying. Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll stop here for today, and then we only have one more, I think. But this was a lot.
Is this the heaviest one or the last one you did?
I don't know. Yeah, both were bad. Yeah, they were.
Oh, bro. I'm really proud of you, man.
Thank you.
It's incredible what you've done.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell this without you. Like, you're helping me every step of the way, and that's yeah. Like, I asked you for help for this. You know?
You did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Not that hard.
No, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah. No. That's the thing, like, I've come a long way with this, and there wasn't anyone else to help me with this. Yeah, like, I first thought that I was gonna do webinar type of thing, you know, slides, and I have 300 of them, you know, my yeah, basically what we've been talking about a little bit. It's not even all. Like, if we were to create slides of all of this, but
Sure.
this was, yeah, how can I say it? Sometimes you realize that there's a better alternative. Like, you get influenced to do something better or to do what you're really supposed to do. I first thought that I was going to do this with my slides and the webinar type of thing, but then, yeah, I didn't even think about coming here. It was not even in my thought process, like, at all, until we spoke, and then you suggested that I come here, which sort of started this. Oh, but that's even better, because this conversation, yeah, turned out to be much better than any webinar that I could have ever done. And it was way easier too. Yeah. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. All right. So now let's unpack this awesome conversation that I just had with Alex, and I'll also share some other things that happened during the ceremony that I completely forgot about when I sat down with Alex. But here's the thing about ayahuasca also, that she never tells you to do something that you're not ready for or that you can't do. And the best example I can give you of this is my journey with alcohol. Because on my first ceremony, she only told me that I should drink as a celebration and cut down with it, but still have it in my life. when that approach failed and I couldn't stick to it, then on the second time, then she was being hard on me on it and basically sitting me down and giving that tough conversation, which is sometimes the best thing you can do for someone. And during that second ceremony, like I couldn't really explain what was happening in my brain in the correct words at the moment when I was sitting down with Alex, but I can do it now. And the thing that had happened is that my belief system about alcohol was reprogrammed one step at a time by removing all the reasons of why I drink alcohol. But during my second ceremony, or after that, then I wasn't ready yet to give up alcohol and step into this new person, as I explained earlier. But now, on my third, and after puking and getting all of this out and saying goodbye to this person that I've been for 15 years, like I was just so ready to step into that new person and become the one that I knew I could be. And on this picture right here, then you can see how it looked when I was looking into the eyes and the person that I've been for such a long time. And during that moment then, there was no fear, there was no last words telling me to, come on man, we've been together for such a long time, like don't listen to her. Like it was just pure silence and acceptance, because we both knew that this was the end and that it was time to say goodbye to this. And that is also why I couldn't just say goodbye. Like I also have to thank him for all the good times we've had, because in this ride and in this journey, it hasn't been all bad. I have a tremendous amount of good memories, fun stories, crazy things, and that type of thing that had happened when I've been drinking also, and that deserved some gratitude and some recognition. But this is the thing about like ayahuasca, in that you purge. Like I was puking, shitting and pissing at the same time. Like I had so much crap inside of me that I just had to get out. And this was the big purge for me. And this cleansing experience where this thing that I've been carrying around for such a long time was not serving me anymore. So it was time to leave that behind so that I could begin my new life without all of this crap inside of me. And that is how I want you to look at like purging and vomiting in general. Like if you vomit, then it's because your body wants to get rid of something that is not good for you. And yes, it does feel a little bit uncomfortable and not nice. And especially if you have like a severe thing, like a food poisoning or something like that, then it can be a pretty bad experience. But afterwards, when you get it out, then it's almost like a relief for your body to not have that poison and that crap inside of you anymore. So from here on, then I don't want you to see purging or vomiting as something bad, because that's how many people view it. Instead, I want you to see it as a cleansing experience, because even though this experience here on the toilet for me was awful to go through and it came out on all ends, then afterwards I had like let go of so much stuff, and it was just this massive feeling of relief afterwards. Yeah, and after I came out of that bathroom, like as I said, I called Pat over and I was just so happy. Like I have been fighting this for 15 years and it just felt like I'm finally free of this. So then I lay down on the mattress and she said that she was really proud of me for what I've done. And I just I could not believe it. So I lay down there on the mattress and I just started crying, like tears of joy, because it felt like I had escaped prison and I got my life back, because I had been a slave to this poison. Like it took over my entire brain and made my life unbearable if I didn't have it. And I got locked out of my own brain somehow, like it took over from the inside. And now I had gotten my brain back, so I could enjoy life again sober. So I cried like tears of joy,
there. And Ayahuasca said, Magnus, there is nothing that can stop you now. Nothing in your life that you will ever attempt to achieve will be nearly as difficult as quitting to drink alcohol. And it's been true. Quitting alcohol is the hardest thing I have ever done because of the difficulty of how it took over my brain from the inside. And it was an enemy and a monster that was only visible or that existed for me. And the way that it made me enslaved to it, in a way that made me hate myself and being sober and my loved ones if I didn't have alcohol, like, it's hard to explain the difficulty of it. So when I finally get rid of it and I became free, then it also became the most rewarding and made everything else look easy to achieve in comparison. Because my life since has never been better, but it came from achieving the hardest thing that I have ever done. And it's hard to put into words, like what it feels like to be that consumed by alcohol that your whole brain is overtaken by it and you can't be creative anymore, you can't tell jokes, you can't be funny, you can't enjoy life, like you can't barely function unless you have alcohol. That's now the law, and like it's rooted so deeply into your entire brain that there is no other way. Like I try to explain it with the story when after I quit drinking, then I was walking in Mexico with my friends Charlie and Sander, and yeah, so we walked down the street and then I just cracked this joke that I come up with, and they both laugh for a little bit, and then Charlie stops me and he says, Magnus, you never used to tell jokes unless you were drinking. To which I reply, I never had access to that personality if I wasn't. Because somehow this thing took control from the inside and put me in the passenger seat of my own brain, which is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, and some other things that Ayahuasca told me is that I should start meditating, which has been, I think she has said it 5 or 6 times now, and I'm actually now ready to actually start doing it, but to me it hasn't been a big priority yet. Like I had much bigger things to fix, like quitting alcohol and some other things, but she told me to do that. And then there was an instance where I was laying there on my mattress and I had a lot of pain in my hip because they're like super tight. So yeah, and I know that I just have to stretch them and do some very simple yoga moves, and it would remove all of that pain pretty much instantly, and it would take 1 minute to do. So she told me, it's like, why do you do this to yourself? Like, be kinder to yourself and your body, because you lay here in pain, but all you would have to do to help yourself and relieve yourself of this pain is to have stretched for 1 minute. And I think you deserve to treat yourself with that. And then there was this instance where I was laying on my mattress and I had to go to the bathroom and take a leak, and then I came back and lay down on my mattress, and then what felt like 5 minutes later, it felt like I had to go again, and I'm just like, there's no fucking way I'm going to the bathroom again, like I just went. To which she said to me, Magnus, listen to your body, you don't decide. If you have to go and take a leak, then go and take a leak. And this concept of listening to your body is something that I started paying attention to here, right in this moment, but it comes up in so many different situations, and I'm going to get to this in some later episodes that happen in the future, but it's quite simple, really, if you think about it. Like if your body is telling you that you need to go to the bathroom, then you need to go to the bathroom. And if you're feeling tired, it's because your body's tired and it's telling you to sleep. If you're hungry, it means that you should eat. And these type of things, like your body is telling you what you should do. And this you can sort of use as a compass. Like if you can learn to listen to your body, then it will tell you everything. Everything from maybe you've been working really hard lately, so it's time for you to enjoy yourself with the day off and just have some fun so you can recharge your batteries and that type of thing. But it will also tell you, like maybe you're in a relationship when you're unhappy, just like I was, that maybe it's time for you to go and be free for a little bit. Or maybe you have been traveling around by yourself or living casually, that now your body is telling you that maybe it's time to settle down a little bit. Or maybe you're sick of your job and it's time to move and start a different career. Like, it's the oldest saying, listen to your heart and trust your gut. But so few of us are doing it because we're spending too much time on our phones or computers instead of listening to what the gut and what our bodies are telling us of what we should do. Like this concept for me, it started here during this moment, and I'm going to get back to this in later videos because now I'm extremely in tune with my body and what I'm supposed to do with my life, like pretty much exactly what my purpose is. And that came from this, like learning to listen of what my body is telling me, and you can learn to do the same thing. But during the ceremony, then I was also fortunate to meet and hear people and their stories and experiences with ayahuasca. So I'm going to share their stories with you here. And the first story is of this this old couple. I mean, they're like maybe 50 years old, and the guy there, then he started telling this story, and he was crying when he said this because his dad had just gotten a stroke a few weeks earlier than this. So they took him to the hospital, and then the doctors tell him that your dad, he had a stroke, but there's absolutely nothing to worry about. In fact, you can come and pick him up in the morning and everything will be fine. But then during the night, then he unexpectedly dies out of nowhere, essentially. So with this, then he was grieving and he was heartbroken, but it made him question if he now was a good dad to his son. Because in his mind, then he sort of felt like that he hadn't always been there for him. Like him and his birth mom, they had broken up and moved to different cities. So now he was dating this new woman. So in his mind, then he couldn't see his son as much as he wanted to, and he was questioning if he had done a good job and if his son even loved him. And ayahuasca told him, just look at this. So then he got to see memories and fun times and loving moments that he had shared with his son, like maybe out and playing catch and stuff like that. Just look at how happy he is and how much he loves you. Like, don't you think for a second that he doesn't love you. It's the opposite. Like, he loves you so much. So his advice from ayahuasca was the reassurance that he was doing an amazing job with his son. And also he got help with the grief and the sudden heartbreak of losing his dad. And then there was his new girlfriend, who was this very ambitious and productive person who was always out and getting after it and working hard and working towards her goals. And her lesson from ayahuasca was, when you're on the beach with your man, then be on the beach with your man. There is a time to work hard and go after your goals and do everything you can to achieve them. But there is also a time to be in the moment and enjoy life and enjoy the fruits of your labor without feeling guilty or feeling that you always should be doing something. Because it is important to work hard, otherwise you won't get anywhere in life. But also it's equally important that you take time off for yourself, that you celebrate the wins, that you live in the now, and you appreciate life and all the good things that come to it. And then there was this girl who was maybe in her late 20s, And she was in a very toxic and abusive relationship with a guy who basically treated her like a doormat. And she did everything to please him and bend herself backwards to always do what he wanted and that type of thing. And also was rationalizing his behavior because she could empathize why he was acting the way that he did. And her advice from ayahuasca was simply this: you need to start saying no to him and start putting yourself first, because right now you're bending yourself backwards for him, and you are also important. Like, it's amazing that she was this empathetic and kind and caring and sweet person, but she also deserves to be happy and loved and appreciated and being a really good, healthy and loving relationship. So her encouragement from ayahuasca was simply to remind her that she is an amazing person that deserves to be loved and to deserve these amazing things in a relationship, and that she shouldn't settle for anything less. Yeah, and then there was a guy who, he was heartbroken because he had just broken up with his ex. So ayahuasca gave him some advice to help him heal from that. And then there was a guy who was maybe, 24 years old or something, who has been, like partying, living life and having fun. But then now, all of a sudden, after these ceremonies, then now he realized that he wanted to become a dad, which, what a beautiful thing that was. And then there was a very heavy or overweight person who basically weighed 150 kilos and who was there to get help with her weight, which maybe wasn't one of the best ideas, or effective ideas. But that's pretty much what ayahuasca told her also, that I can't walk the steps for you. I can only motivate you and meet you halfway, but there's also some work here that you need to do, otherwise you're never ever going to be able to lose this weight. And it's a bit hard for me to explain in words what actually happened during my second ceremony when I purged, and all of that, the meaninglessness of life, the depression, the anxiety, the ungratefulness I've had for so many years, and just living without purpose, aimlessly, all of that came out during that moment. And then I took a deep breath, and I could just feel this overwhelming feeling of love. And that feeling has stuck with me ever since. And there is one paragraph I found from Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, in his book A Man's Search for Meaning, that summarizes exactly what happened to me at that moment and what has stuck with me ever since. And I will read it to you now. We stumbled on in the darkness, over big stones and through large puddles along the one road leading from the camp. The accompanying guards kept shouting at us and driving us with the butts of their rifles. Anyone with very sore feet supported himself on his neighbor's arm. Hardly a word was spoken. The icy wind did not encourage talk. Hiding his mouth behind his upturned collar, the man marching next to me whispered suddenly, "If our wives could see us now, I do hope they are better off in their camps and don't know what is happening to us." That brought thoughts of my own wife to mind, and as we stumbled on for miles, slipping on icy spots, supporting each other time and again, dragging one another up and onwards, nothing was said. But we both knew. Each of us was thinking of his wife. Occasionally, I looked at the sky, where the stars were fading and the pink light of the morning was beginning to spread behind a dark bank of clouds. But my mind clung to my wife's image, imagining it with uncanny acuteness. I heard her answering me, saw her smile, her frank and encouraging look. Real or not, her look was then more luminous than the sun, which was beginning to rise. A thought transfixed me. For the first time in my life, I saw the truth as it is set into song by so many poets, proclaimed as the final wisdom by so many thinkers. The truth that love is the ultimate and highest goal to which man can aspire. Then I grasped the meaning of the greatest secret that human poetry and human thought and belief have to impact. The salvation of man is through love and in love. I came to the very same conclusion as Viktor Frankl did in that moment when she went over and helped my neighbor just a few feet away from me. That love is the most important and the strongest thing in the entire world. So go and spend time with the ones you care about the most. Like help an old lady across the street, give money to a homeless person, play with your dog, enjoy your day off on the beach, eating ice cream with your friends, go to dinner with them, jump your partner in bed, and then tell them why they're so special to you. Like tell your parents that you love them and visit your grandparents. Like these are the things that matters most. That you go after the things that will make yourself proud and not go after money. Because life is an adventure. So get after your dreams and do the things that you want to do, and that goes for trips, places you want to see, and experience you want to do, and have as much sex as you can, because one day you're going to wake up and you're 89 years old and it's just not going to work anymore, and you're going to wish that you were once young again. So make sure that you're fulfilling your sexual fantasies also, and that you don't reach the end without fulfilling your potential and doing the things with your life that you want to do. And do not, under any circumstances, let anyone tell you how to live your life. Like every single day is a gift, so appreciate it. And this realization just clicked for me right there in that moment on that mattress, and it has stuck with me ever since, because it reprogrammed my mind of what is actually important in life, and that it's love. And now I want to tell you about my tattoo and how this plays in with my purpose and with my story and with my future and everything that I'm going to do with my life. So in 2014, I told all my friends that I was going to do my whole back as my first tattoo, and I don't really think that anyone really believed me. And to be fair, I had no idea of what I really gave myself into and what a project it would be and how long it would take, working with a great tattoo artist and making it detailed and planning for the things that I want. And this is the first thing we did, the phoenix here on the back of my shoulder. And then the third time it looked like this with 2 holes in my back. It was like ridiculous. And on the fourth time we did the samurai on the other side, and it just looks absolutely awful. Now on the 6th time, still 2 big holes in my back, and it's just terrible. And this is sort of like what my life was like back then. Like I was all over the place. Here 2 years later it started to look a little bit better, but still unfinished. Like I don't really know where I'm going with my life. Like I'm all over the place, heading in many different directions, and my life was very similar to my tattoo and how it looked right here. And then in session 25, then we started to look a little bit better and fill one of the holes here. And now I'm going to show you the end result. And this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to explain the meaning, because we have the heaven on the right side and the hell on the other side. And here in the middle, we have the guy standing on a cliff, looking up towards the moon. And this means that you have your whole life ahead of you. You can achieve anything, endless possibilities, and aim high and go after the things you want in life. But then you also have these 2 entities inside your mind that are fighting for your attention or dragging you in each direction. And on the left side you have the samurai, so in this case represents doing all the things that you know you shouldn't do: lying, cheating, stealing, being selfish, hurting others. In my case, drinking and partying too much and making stupid decisions, taking the easy way. And if I were to keep going to the left and making stupid decisions like I did, then the last place I would end up is here. This is my hell. This is where I died a slave to alcohol. You can see the chain from the wrist to the bottle. I can never manage to escape it. I wasted my entire life on nothing. I achieved nothing. And my friends deserted me. My friends hated me. I died broke, depressed, unhappy, and that's how my last moment was. And it was so close that the whole story ended like this. Like I've been close like 6 times, as I've said. And then on the other side, you have the Phoenix that represents doing all the things that you know you should do, like be a good person, help others, be kind, set goals, work hard and achieve them, and do the right thing even though it's hard. And then you can go to heaven instead, which means in this case it's not the place you go to after death, but it's the place of your dreams, and you become the person that you're meant to be. Because we worked on this for 5 years and 150 hours sporadically, and during this time I was a complete mess. Like I was all over the place, I was heading nowhere, I was drinking, I was depressed, and I was miserable, and I thought life was meaningless. But the moment we finished the tattoo and we finished drawing my hell, then I quit drinking alcohol forever, and I rose from the ashes of my own hell, and I became the Phoenix. The story came true. And now I'm going to spend the rest of my life helping others achieve the same. Because here's the thing. This might be my story, my video, and my tattoo we're talking about. But it's also your story. Because you are the Phoenix. And you have a role to play in the universe. But perhaps you're also struggling with addiction or traumas or fears or insecurities that are keeping you trapped in your hell and preventing you from living the life of your dreams and becoming the person that you know you can be. And if you feel that that's you and that you have been resonating with my message and what I'm trying to say with my story and my experiences, then you can join my new community on the button below. This is a group for like-minded individuals who are ready to take responsibility for your lives and do the things necessary by working on yourself and facing the things that you're most afraid of in the places where you least want to look. Because that's where the power comes from overcoming your fears, your insecurities, and your traumas. Like that's where the true growth and power comes from.